It's not working. Is this really Apollo though?
This is really Apollo, yeah. He said so earlier.
Oh,
so.
It's the Duckhunt. There's only one Duckhunt in like the world that everyone likes, and it's Apollo.
Dude, his Duckhunt's really good. Like that was the thing. Like it is a really good Duckhunt.
Right, so who?
But I have a feeling we're gonna be here for a really long time, especially with these two players. But I will say, I'll compliment Apollo before I will go on to hate everything about Duckhunt, is that I appreciate how much he goes in and actually uses the A button, because we know a couple other Duckhunt players in this region who don't press the A button at all. So I like his style a lot. And obviously Webb is amazing for, you know, playing Lucas at the caliber that he does. So I'm interested to see how this one's gonna go, but pretty even so far right now.
I'm definitely interested to see it too. I mean, Duckhunt is definitely like a big red button lover. Not gonna lie, you know, as you can see, always just make sure you gotta have a can out, you know, putting that gunman where he needs to be. Just making sure that there are just multiple spaces on the battlefield where any and all options are pretty much covered. Like, Duckhunt just wants to create his own zone where he puts like a hitbox in just as many different places at once as he possibly can to try to overwhelm the neutral with all these items as best as he can. And you know, against a character like Lucas, I can definitely see that being pretty optimal, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe he can absorb the can. I don't think he can, I think he can absorb the gunman, and I think he can absorb the explosion of the claymores. I think that's how it goes pretty much in this matchup. So we'll cross more of that bridge when we come to it. Beautiful up smash though to take the first stock.
So I just want to point something out. Now this is like big theory crafting here, but I see that Apollo's like new tag is like EIN. So the dog in Cowboy Bebop, who's a corgi, is named SYN, which is also spelled like the same way, and he's also kind of like colored like that. So I'm wondering if it's like kind of like a tribute to Ein from Cowboy Bebop, but I could be wrong as well.
It seems like a Smasher thing to do, to watch an anime for the first time and then immediately change your tag to the name of that character. So I wouldn't put it past him. I think that's a good theory there.
You never know, though.
Oh my god! That's an overextension on the part of WebbJP, my goodness. And this is still best of 3 territory, so if Webb loses this game, that's not a good position. Not a good way to start a set, but I mean, so many bridges to cross when we come to him, though. Ein looking pretty in this first game so far, but that reflection off of the, on the can right there about the forward smash is going to do it for Ein's first stock. Still got a whole second one to play with, though.
Right. It just seems like Apollo, Ein, I'm going to call him Apollo for now until I have confirmation on that from him. He just seems pretty comfortable. He doesn't feel pressed to run in. I mean, Duckhunt's projectiles go farther than Lucas's, so he's just gonna casually kind of like run away, make sure that the can is in his territory, and he's just having a good time right now.
Yeah, just putting all these out here, man. It's like such a completely different story when Duckhunt is an advantage rather than disadvantage, and he's putting all this stuff out. The fact that Ein is up a stock right now is just absolutely huge, because if you're the one who's up, and therefore by, you know, the laws of Smash, you're the one who technically doesn't have to approach ever if you don't want to, getting Duckhunt to do that instead and getting him to approach, that's no fun. That is no fun for the Duckhunt player, to say the least. So the fact that Ein is up right now, and he can continue to play this game, the sort of set play mini Snake game of putting all these hitboxes at all these different spots around the battlefield, the fact that he's the one who's up a stock makes it so much more crucial of a factor of Duckhunt's specific game plan in his game style. He's going to make it that much harder for WebbJP to really get in, but he finally breaks through the mold with a forward tilt, but he gets no punish off of the PK Thunder 1.
I think this is why Webb's tag is usually Zuck Phoners, right? That's like his usual thing. So I can totally see why. I mean, he is struggling. He's doing his best to get on in, but like he'll get that occasional tap and then he'll be out. And
how much you want to bet he's going to switch it back?
Oh, absolutely. Ooh, but that up throw though. Gonna at least even it up. I mean, he's sitting at 117, so it's not impossible. But I mean, to do it on Duckhunt, especially Apollo, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah, Duckhunt is the kind of character who takes very great pride in making himself as difficult to approach as humanly possible. It's what he's all about, because Duckhunt's not exactly the kind of character who's like goes in, you know, with like balls to the wall aggression or anything like that. He's technically more of like a set play kind of character who really likes to sort of like set up his base and defense. It's like sort of like an RTS, if you would. And this could be it. Yes, it is. Yep.
That was sick. That was sick. That was super sick.
Yeah, it's a beautiful conversion right there with the down throw to the can. You don't get to play Duck Hunt at as high of a level as you do without knowing those can setups, and he knows the exact angle that that down throw sets up at and converting into the can. And it just makes you think this is clearly how Nintendo intended for this character to be designed around. Yeah, Duck Hunt's got no kill throws or real big combo throws or anything like that. So he's just intended to do these sort of combos with himself, like just with his items and whatnot. That was a beautiful conversion to be able to close out the stock, and he's going to go up game 1 here in winter semifinals against WebbJP.
Right, and I mean, we brought this kind of up the last time, especially with like a character like Robin. You have to know your combos in order to make it work, and I feel like both of these characters, or both of these players with their characters, know what works, and that's why they play them at such a high caliber. So,
honestly, yeah.
I'm always impressed by, right, exactly. I'm always impressed by a character specialist because they really take the time, especially with two characters that may be considered, you know, low, high tier, mid tier offline. I'm just always impressed by how well they, you know, play their game.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, and WebbJP, he's been asked about it before. Like, he's done, like, those, like, AMAs, Curious Cats, whatever that people do on Twitter. And, he's got, like, people have asked him, like, dude, like, oh, I see other Lucas players, or I try to play Lucas, and it just doesn't feel like this character can do anything, man. Like, I just don't get how your Lucas looks so much more different, man. How are you so good? And people ask him, and he's like, he says, I just love this character. This is my favorite character in the game. This is the one I want to play, so this is the one I'm dedicating myself to. And as a result, you're just going to get better with that character if that's the thing you decide to dedicate to. Question is, with low tiers, can you exactly do that? I disagree, because I do not think Lucas is low tier. I think WebbJP has proved that. I think this character is like low high tier at like worst. Actually, probably at best. Probably at best, I should say. Never mind. But yeah, he's just out here doing it with his favorite character. And I thought you said Biddy. I thought Biddy was like in the chat. And then like I turned to like the screen and there was a Diddy. Okay. Didn't expect this. Didn't even know Apollo had one. Makes sense.
Maybe it's a comfort thing. Maybe it's like, you know what, I'm up a game. I don't like that matchup anyway because of how hard this character zones me out. So let's see like what I can do with this character. I know a lot of people are picking up Diddy nowadays.
You know, Lyric, it also might have to do with the stage.
Also true.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Diddy earlier in this bracket before. We did see Helper actually sent Pharaoh to the losers bracket. Probably the biggest upset of the tournament so far, him taking out the #1 seed with Diddy Kong, all Diddy in that department. Here on Final Destination, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him if WebbJP decided to counterpick the Final Destination, and as a result, I decided to go Diddy because of the order in which you counterpick in the current rule set that we have. Question is, I wouldn't put it past him, because, you know, Diddy is just really good on Final Destination, you know, no platforms to really run away from the banana from, you know, just Diddy has just all that good ground space to cover and make up with his speed and the fact that he has an item that he can spawn at any time, therefore making it that much harder for a character like Lucas to really approach him if he's not careful. But that's not going to matter if you're off the level against WebbJP, man. This guy will swing right when it looks like somebody shouldn't swing, and he just finds a way. Just lives off of stray hits.
Right.
Honest to God.
Yeah, no, I think this matchup is now giving Webb a chance to kind of approach more. And he just looks a little bit more comfortable. So, he's going to eat that F smash, though.
Yeah, not as much item spam, you know, on the part of Duckhunt. Like, Diddy, of course, can spawn an item, but, you know, it ain't like Duckhunt, where he can just, you know, all of his specials are just items that he can put out and create that battlefield. Rather, it's more of just like this little mini zoning tool with Banana, one that trips and sets up for combos instead. So I think that's a really good point, Lyric, in that, you know, WebbJP should theoretically have an easier time approaching against a character like Diddy, but we'll find out shortly, I suppose. I mean, he's the one who's up, so already looking pretty good for him.
You know, it just doesn't seem like Apollo can get this stock unless the barrels come through and get it for him. So we'll see. Maybe the momentum's going to shift right now. I see Apollo moving a little bit more than he was in the beginning, but Webb is going to get that signature down air that he always combos off of. So I'm going to get him right out.
Yeah, I've always said that WebbJP is the kind of player where the best way to describe how he plays is that if you give him an inch, he takes a mile. Like, it's just the slightest little stray hits that he gets.
I'm
so
sad.
There we go.
I'm so sad. I don't
Ultimate.
know why.
Chris, this is like my biggest nightmare for this weekend for me.
Why.
I'm like, oh no.
This doesn't happen usually like this. This is why I'm just confused. I don't know. I'm starting to think it's got to be on my end. I'm just confused though, because like, oh, I got that Fios and stuff. Like,
I have that Fios too.
I don't know what's good.
I still have Optimum.
I don't know what's good.
Oh, bless your heart.
That sucks. Anyway, I got a new router though, so it's all good. But anyway, Chris, I mean, this didn't happen as much last week.
No, this didn't happen at all last week. That's the thing.
Fios might just be having like a little bad bandwidth night. Sometimes
Maybe.
Sometimes it's the ISP, and there's nothing you can do about that. So.
Oh man. I mean, I guess this is just how the Nintendo code works, where if you have like a little blip, because if that happens, then you just boot it out, you know?
All right, listen. Nintendo definitely designed their netcode for this game in the exact same way that they designed names for Pokemon. They just smacked their fist on the keyboard and then just filled in the empty space with vowels.
I'm so upset.
You are doing your job, my friend, and you're doing a wonderful job at that.
We got a game 3, so... Yeah, let's go. Alright, so...
Son of Jimmy Neutron out here in full force. Yeah, Lyric, I was saying this to whatchamacallit. I was saying this to Hunk before.
Did you just
Lucas.
Did you just call Hunk a whatchamacallit?
Yes, what's your point?
All right.
That's hilarious.
How else can you describe him? Anyway. I was talking to whatchamacallit, right? And I was saying Lucas, right? He is the son of Jimmy Neutron and Cindy Vortex, right?
What type of like deviant art like fan fiction is this part of Nintoonist?
To think about it, I mean, look at his hair. He's got the Jimmy Neutron hair. He's a psychic, so he's like a genius like Jimmy, but it's blonde, like Cindy, right?
Okay. Anyway,
am I making any sense?
I follow and I hate it. I hate that I'm following.
Yeah, right. No, I'm choosing just to be like, okay,
I'm just like, right.
I'm out, yo.
Anyway, we're back on FD, and we're back on the dog, so Apollo having a significantly better time. Like I said, I think that Diddy was just kind of like, let's try it out and see how it does, but
I respect it.
See, there's what you're talking about with the explosion. He did absorb the explosion, but he would definitely get hit by the can, so.
Yeah, I figured as much. I didn't want to confirm nothing, because I said this was a common matchup that we ever saw. But I mean, it is now. The great game of Wi-Fi, my friends.
It is. I mean,
yeah.
I kind of like how Webb is just kind of like running in, jumping in, though. He's not letting the projectiles kind of wave him, but that back air almost kills him.
Ooh, the can almost stuffing out the PK Thunder one.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I love where Ein's head was at. Right there, by putting out the can in the one spot where WebbJP definitely could not afford to have had it, as that up smash is going to take the first stock. Looking good. All right. Ooh, I love that mix-up right there.
That was crazy.
It was a really good movement option on the part of Ein right there. That is one thing that they did about Duckhunt from the last game over to this one in terms of his buffs. He can now cancel his uppie into aerials. I don't think he could do that in Smash 4, to be honest. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he couldn't, though, but whatever. That was then. This is now. Either way, Ein is utilizing his character to his absolute fullest potential, utilizing these beautiful B reverses and wave bounces to make his way around WebbJP here in this final game. One of the semifinals. Oh my god!
The zoning. Like, that is the definition of zoning with your projectile. Forcing them into a get-up option that they're not totally comfortable with, and then getting the stock off of it. Oh my god. That air dodge to the left was so risky, but...
It was pretty clutch.
Yeah, no, Webb just can't get the option that he wants to take it, and I mean, he got it now, but...
Yeah, that air dodge was just super, super clutch, because if he just... The thing with Duckhunt's recovery, it's got no hitbox, it's got no invincibility, nothing like that. So, if you're playing against a character who has a down smash that reaches below the ledge and hits 3 times, you know, like Lucas's, you're just literally, and no pun intended here, you're literally a sitting duck off of the level right there. So he had to air dodge there. So he had to air dodge it up. It was his only real option to actually get around the down smash right there. So frankly, I'm actually really impressed that Ein survived that whole onslaught. He did literally the one telegraph thing that he could do, and it worked. So yeah, good on him.
All right, missing the down smash. Gonna get the grab grab it though. Throw it back.
And
He'll make it back.
Dead?
Oh my god! Wow! Oh, he's tight. He is so tight in Tunis. He is beyond tight. I would be so tight if I were him.
That's as tight as it gets, my friends. My goodness, like this, the beautiful spacing of what I was gonna say. Ein's up B right there. He put himself in literally the one spot that he could possibly go, and it was a good edge guard attempt with the PK Thunder 1 right there. He did the right thing. Unfortunately, WebbJP just missed spacing that down smash a little bit. He wanted to put it by the ledge, because I think he was trying to predict that Ein would have just, you know, drifted back a little bit by the ledge, because he didn't want to, you know, just, he didn't want to, what am I trying to say? He didn't want to up B back to the stage, lest he suffer from the lag of his up B. But then he was ballsy, and he just did the one thing that was theoretically a, you know, stupid thing to do. And WebbJP just wasn't prepared for it because he fell for the triple mind games.